Coming to you from the Lydia Media Studios in the heart of Lewiston, Auburn, it's Lydia's Lunch Bunch, LA's afternoon morning show with Mark and Pam. We're covering news and events in the greater LA area and talking to the people making a difference in our community. Feel free to share your comments, questions, or suggestions via email at podcast@lydiamediallc.com.
Today's show is powered by DeBlois Electric, building lasting relationships since 1967. From homes to businesses, their licensed, fully trained technicians handle it all. Repairs, upgrades, standby generators, EV chargers, heat pumps, and more. No job is too big and no job is too small. Learn more at DeBloisElectric.com. And by Ruper's Beverage and Redemption. When it comes to beer, wine, and spirits, don't botch it, squatch it. At 4 locations in Lewiston, Auburn, and Oxford. Learn more at rupersbeverage.com. And remember, the party starts at Ruper's.
We have the pleasure of being joined in studio today by a horticulturist at McLaughlin Garden in South Paris, Corey Kotfila. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Excellent. Thanks for joining us today. Corey, what exactly is a horticulturist?
So, a horticulturist has many definitions, but in my context, I take care of the gardens. So I maintain the woody perennials with pruning and fertilizer applications. I cultivate the selections of plants in the garden and just make sure that they're healthy and happy.
That sounds like a relaxing job, but also a job that can be very stressful at times.
It can be, especially when you have, a time limit on some of the pruning that you have to do.
Yeah.
For example, lilacs, you have about a 2-week period to prune them after they're done flowering. And when you have 200 different lilacs in the garden, that can be a bit of a crunch.
All right. So we'll talk to Corey about that and a whole lot more, including the McLaughlin Garden Jack-O-Lantern Spectacular, which is happening this week. Before we get to all that, let's take a look at some headlines for Monday, October 13th.
The Lewiston City Council will hold a workshop on syringe service providers tomorrow at 6 p.m. in the council chambers. Residents are invited to learn more about the topic and how it could impact our community. The workshop will also be live streamed on the city's YouTube channel.
On the 5th anniversary of legal recreational cannabis in Maine, state regulators say sales are stable. Retail sales are on pace to match last year's $240 million, which is an average of over $220 per adult Mainer.
The Lewiston Fire Department and Andwell Health Partners are teaming up to provide a free car seat safety event. You can make sure your child's car seat is installed safely and correctly on Thursday from 2 to 6 p.m. at the fire station at 55 North Temple Street. No appointment or registration is required.
Now it's time for the weather.
Rain or shine, it's all okay. Grab your uke and start the day. You don't need perfect skies above. Hey, just a song and a little love.
Well, all the sunny weather we had, I think, is in the rearview mirror now. You must keep track of the weather.
I do.
Better than a meteorologist, I'm guessing, Corey. Cloudy today with rain starting early in the evening. We'll have a high of 55 and a low of 47. Early morning showers give way to cloudy skies tomorrow with a high of 62 and a low of 48. And partly sunny on Wednesday with highs in the mid-50s.
How about sports?
How about it?
Drake May was 18 of 26 for 261 yards and 3 touchdowns as the Patriots beat the New Orleans Saints 25-19. The Pats improved to 4-2 and will visit the 1-5 Tennessee Titans on Sunday afternoon.
We're talking Super Bowl here in New England.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Calm down, Mark.
Pam's not having it. The Bruins are off to a 3-0 start. They'll host the Tampa Bay Lightning this afternoon at 1 p.m.
Are we already talking Stanley Cup? Or?
I think so. I mean, we're undefeated. Might as well.
The NA3 Nordiques drop a pair of games to the Long Beach Sharks in New York over the weekend, 7-0 and 7-4. The Nords will take the New Hampshire Junior Mountain Kings on Wednesday at noon in Auburn.
The Lewiston Maniacs split with Universal Quebec, winning 5-3 on Friday and losing 2-1 on Saturday. The Maniacs will host the Connecticut Chiefs North this weekend in Lewiston.
The Maine Nordiques face off against the New Hampshire Mountain Kings tomorrow at 3:15 p.m. in Auburn.
And Central Maine Community College soccer swept Vermont State Randolph yesterday. The women's team won 1-0, and the men's team won 7-0. CM men's basketball will host Kennebec Valley Community College tonight at 6 in Auburn. That is your news, weather, and sports. And right now, it's time for the podcast segment that is sweeping the Twin Cities. It's time for famous people birthdays.
They're famous. It's their birthdays. It's famous people birthdays. It's famous people birthdays.
Let's take a look at FPBs for October the 13th, shall we?
Sure.
All right. We're going to start off with Sacha Baron Cohen, who is 54 years old today. You know him as Borat. He's also been in The Dictator and Bruno, and he was in Talladega Nights with Will Ferrell. Singer, actor, and talk show host Marie Osmond is 66 years old today, from Donnie and Marie fame, which I grew up with back in the 70s, and the famous Osmond family. Singer and rocker Sammy Hagar, 78 years old today and still going strong. In 2007, he was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame as a member of Van Halen.
Are you okay with that one?
I'm all right with that one. He's all right. I was a big fan of Sammy's back in the day when he was the Red Rocker. And then he took over as the lead vocalist for Van Halen. And I'm like, I think I'm good with that. Actor Damon Wilson is 79 years old today. He played Lamont Sanford on the sitcom Sanford and Son with Red Fox, which ran from 1972 to 77. Both of you are way too young to remember that. But
I mean, I know it, but I didn't really watch it.
All right. I know you know this next one. Paul Simon is 84 years old today, of Simon and Garfunkel fame. Now, I do want to clear up some confusion, Pam. There's a lot of confusion as to which member of Simon and Garfunkel Paul Simon is.
Which one is he?
And I will tell you, he is the Simon portion of Simon and Garfunkel. Just in case you're wondering, Corey. We like to clear the air over here on all the confusion and controversy. Yes. So Paul Simon is actually Simon in Simon and Garfunkel.
We're full of facts.
Yes. Yes, we are. He's done a few things.
Yeah, he's done a few.
Paul Simon. He was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and has won 16 Grammy Awards, including 3 for Album of the Year.
All right.
And 2 of his works, The Sounds of Silence in 1966 and Graceland, were inducted into the National Recording Registry for their cultural significance. And he was honored with the Kennedy Center Honors in 2001. He's a big deal.
Yes.
Big deal, that Paul Simon. There you go. Those are your FPBs. Now it's time for some OTDs.
It happened on this day. It happened on this day. It happened on this day.
That's right, Corey. That happened.
Not in this studio, it didn't, but it happened.
We're not proud of it, but it happened.
You should be.
Okay, thanks. You're too nice.
Should be proud because no one else was going to do it. Oh, all right. Let's see here. 9 years ago in 2016, Bob Dylan was awarded the Nobel Prize in Literature for having created new poetic expressions within the great American song tradition.
He was a big deal as well.
He was.
In the music scene. Still is, right?
He is, but what happened? Why can't he sing live anymore? Is that what I hear? I've never seen him, but I've heard it's not that great.
Like, is he having issues, or is it just his normal singing voice?
Yeah.
It's not great.
I don't know. I've heard he was really good, and then something changed. I don't know. Anyway. 17 years ago in 2008, the music video for Single Ladies, Put a Ring on It, was released. That was 17 years ago.
Incredible, right?
God, time flies.
Yeah. I remember I was at a father-daughter dance, and when that song came on, every daughter in the room went to the dance floor, and the fathers were standing around going, what is happening right now? They were singing along.
They doing the whole dance from the video and everything.
It was something. Yeah.
Beyonce.
It's like they rehearsed it. It was weird.
32 years ago in 1993, Look Who's Talking was released, starring John Travolta and Kirstie Alley with Bruce Willis as the voice of their kid. That was a cute movie.
It was.
Doesn't show on like replays on TV. Why not?
I'm not sure.
Great one.
And then they came out with a couple others, didn't they? Because I know
Yeah,
Steve
Look Who's
Gutenberg.
Talking To,
Yeah.
and then Look Who's Talking Now.
Yeah.
I think it was The Animals.
Look Who's Talking, Electric Boogaloo.
No.
Okay.
What?
I thought.
Is that on the dark web?
No, it might be.
41 years ago in 1984, Stevie Wonder's #1 hit, I Just Called to Say I Love You, debuted.
Yeah, that was a good one.
I
It's a
just-
big one for Stevie.
I gotta do it for Sarah. Start
Yeah.
singing it. She's way better than I am at that. She can actually sing.
You're not going to sing?
No.
All right.
53 years ago in 1972, the plane carrying Uruguay's rugby team crashed in the Andes. They ran out of food on the 10th day. And after hearing on a portable radio that the rescue had been called off, the 16 survivors resorted to cannibalism.
Oh, boy.
That was made into a movie.
Yeah,
Did you see that movie?
I did. And I really didn't want to.
No. Why did we all watch it?
Not because it's interesting, I guess.
It's like one of those what would you do things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it was the 90s. The internet was in its infancy. We really didn't have a lot going on.
We had to find out about it somehow. Let's make a movie.
That's right.
All right. Let's see. And 62 years ago in 1963, the term Beatlemania was coined.
And the world was never the same
Same.
after Beatlemania.
Beatlemania.
There you go.
Yeah.
Those are your FPBs and OTDs for October the 13th.
Whether you want a sit-down meal or a grab-and-go, Pat's Pizza in Auburn offers delicious sandwiches, pasta, salads, and pizza at family-friendly prices. Pat's Pizza, serving the L.A. area since 1985. Open daily from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. at 85 Center Street in Auburn. Online at patsauburn.com.
Hi, it's Donna Harris from Phoenix No Limits Karate here with your daily safety tip. Keep car keys in hand when approaching your vehicle. Let's all do our best to keep our community safe.
Now we shift focus fully to our guest in studio, horticulturist for McLaughlin Garden in South Paris, Corey Kotfila. Corey, you explained to us what a horticulturist is and what you do at McLaughlin Garden. What can you tell us about McLaughlin Garden itself?
Sure. So the McLaughlin Garden is a nonprofit organization. We are a public garden that is open throughout the growing season. And we have collections of, as I mentioned, lilacs. So 200 different lilacs and 125 varieties within those 200 lilacs. And we also have a whole slew of really unique spring ephemeral wildflowers. And so these were all the collections of Bernard McLaughlin, which is where the McLaughlin Garden and Homestead, the name comes from. He was the original owner of the property. And while not a gardener by trade, he did love plants, and he collaborated with local plants people and horticulturists and was able to grow his collections and his knowledge of plants to what they are today. And so the McLaughlin Garden Homestead and the McLaughlin Foundation kind of steward that property and maintain it and add to the collections. And essentially, we, as I said, we keep the garden open to the public. And that was really one of Bernard McLaughlin's kind of core philosophies, was to facilitate this connection with the community and the gardens. And we try to do that today.
And how so? Because I've done a little bit of research on McLaughlin Gardens, and you are just a valued member of this community. You also value your community.
Absolutely. And it's nice to hear you say that. Yes, we do that a few ways. So we have events and programs throughout the season. So programs including horticultural and ecological education, as well as programs for kids and programs for families as well, and as well as events. So like signature events like the Jack-O-Lantern Spectacular, which is a huge event for families and children.
Before we get to the Jack-O-Lantern Spectacular, a lot of the events and programming you provide are free and low cost for members of your community as well.
Yeah, so we, as you said, we really value our community. Yeah. So to allow easy access to this resource that we steward, we try to keep programming and entrance to the garden free and low cost. So admission to the garden is a suggested donation of $10, but we don't want to prevent anyone from getting to come and see the gardens. So it is a suggested donation rather than a required fee.
Corey, how did you get into this line of work?
So I really just fell into it coincidentally.
We hear that a lot.
Yeah.
Rarely are things like that planned out.
Yeah.
So I went to school at the University of Maine for forestry, actually. And somewhere along the way, I stopped looking up at the trees as much and started looking down at the plants on the ground, on the forest floor. And I really became fixated on some of those really unique wildflowers that we have here in Maine. And so kind of halfway through my college career, I took a shift in my studies to really focus on herbaceous perennials and how to grow them, and just getting really interested in observing them and botanizing when I'm out and hiking. And from there, I pretty quickly took that to a career with McLaughlin Garden. I had just driven by the garden on my daily commute, and I noticed, I'm like, oh, there's a public garden there. That seems like it'd be a really cool place to work. Yeah. I went online and looked at a job posting the day of, and they were asking for applications, and so I sent mine in, and here I am.
The rest is history.
The rest is history.
That's awesome.
Serendipitous.
Yeah, it really was. Yeah. As I said, I just fell right into it.
That's great. Yeah. Where did your love of nature come from?
I wasn't always a nature person, but as I got out into the woods and did more and more hiking, and I did a lot of rock climbing as well, and you get really fixated on the environment you're in, and that's where I kind of started to realize that plants are obviously they're living things, but it's not something that comes to mind. Yeah, and I just realized how incredible plants are, and just observing them more and more, I became enthralled with them.
Yeah. Did you ever think at any point in your life that you would be able to identify 125 varieties of lilacs?
Absolutely not. And to be honest, we still can't. Lilacs can be very, very similar, and sometimes the only differentiation is, slight differences in the florets. So, some of the, different colors can be easier to identify, but many of the lilacs we still don't have identified.
Wow, crazy. 125?
Yes. Yeah, I'll tell you, you can smell them from a block away when they're all blooming.
Yeah. I was going to say the smell there must be amazing.
The smell is incredible. Yeah. The colors are vivid. And the cool thing is that they don't all bloom at once either. Yeah, so, your common lilacs bloom for about a week straight, which is not a huge amount of time. It's something certain to look forward to, but with a collection of different species of lilacs in different cultivars, you can actually kind of stagger your blooming. So you can push that 1 week of blooms to almost up to 2 weeks just by planting early flowering lilacs and then your common lilacs and then having some later flowering lilacs as well.
Yeah. Sounds like a hidden gem in the state of Maine.
Definitely.
I'll say so.
We are certainly happy to help you spread the word about that.
I've driven by a bunch of times and have never stopped in, so I need to change that. And I think I'm going to change that this weekend.
Yeah. Yeah. Not a bad time to come.
Yeah, right.
Not at all. Yeah. So it's a busy week.
It is.
For you there. It's the 12th annual Jack-O-Lantern Spectacular at McLaughlin Garden. What can you tell us about this awesome event?
Yeah, so it is our Jack-O-Lantern Spectacular, which runs from the 16th through the 18th, which is Thursday through Saturday. And the Jack-O-Lantern Spectacular is, as its name implies, a hugely spectacular event where we have folks from the community come out and carve pumpkins. So we have all these jack-o'-lanterns that we put out into the garden and light them up, and then folks can tour the gardens at night the event goes from 6 to 8:30 p.m., which is prime jack-o'-lanterns
Yes,
viewing time.
definitely.
Yeah, and so you can tour around the garden and see some of the really spectacular displays that some of our volunteers and community members have put together. So this year our theme is prehistoric. So you can
Cool.
expect to see all kinds of dinosaurs and Neanderthals and prehistoric foliage as you're touring around in the gardens.
Do people get really competitive, like carving and getting creative with their jack-o'-lanterns?
They certainly do, and especially among our volunteers. There's no official
Right.
contest or anything like that, but we do get a little bit competitive to see who gets the most oohs and ahs
Yeah.
at their respective setups.
Yeah. Are you involved in the carving at all? Do you have?
I am. Yes, I have a few displays of my own that I'm responsible for. And I really like to incorporate LED lighting into my displays as well. Cool. Yeah, so it's a really cool mashup of colored lighting and jack-o'-lanterns. Kind of as the years have progressed, we've moved in a bit of a lighting direction as well. So it's a really interesting combination. And I will say that this year we are lucky to have upwards of 600 pumpkins.
Wow.
Yes.
That's a lot of pumpkins.
Oh my goodness.
Do you guys grow your own pumpkins, or do you?
So in the past we have. We've grown some of our own pumpkins at a volunteer's property. Unfortunately, this year they all got cooked off around the middle of the year. Cooked off and eaten by various varmints.
They need to eat too.
They do need to eat. I can't fault them for that. But it's been an especially difficult year for growers with the drought and folks who don't have irrigation in their grows. Have suffered similarly to us, or they've gotten low yields. So we really haven't been able to grow many of our own at all. And that is why we are extremely fortunate to have worked with several farms in the community to get discounted pumpkins and have pumpkins donated.
Nice.
Just to name a few. So Cooper's Farm in West Paris, as well as Gossberry Farm in Mechanic Falls.
Yep.
And even Hannaford in Bridgeton have all been very kind to donate pumpkins to us. And then some folks in your neck of the woods, Belangers and Blackies, have both given us really great deals on bulk pumpkins. So all of these folks have made this possible for us in a year when we might have had some trouble having none of our own to provide.
And that's what's so great about small communities and the communities that we live in, is you always get those small businesses and that community support. So that's awesome. I love that. And thank you for giving them shout outs.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is very much an event by the community and then for the community as well.
Corey, how has this event grown through the years?
It has been going pretty strong since its inception. Some of our past themes have included Harry Potter. So we had the Hogwarts Express, which was a huge display on its own. Each year we have one kind of massive display and then smaller displays. We've also done pirates. So a huge pirate ship was incorporated into the display. So it has grown, but it started off large as well. So as I said, we've kind of transitioned to using more lighting because it's a little bit easier on folks, so they don't have to lug pumpkins around, and it reduces our reliance on pumpkins in a year that we may not have as many. So we've kept it adaptable. We have to adapt, especially when our event is so reliant on an agricultural crop that may vary year to year.
I'm curious what happens to the innards of the pumpkins.
The innards, yes. So we have in our carving session a whole gutting supply chain, essentially, where we have someone using a jigsaw to cut out the bottoms. Then we pass it along to someone with a drill and essentially what looks like a big egg beater and grinding up the inside and getting all the coarse guts, and then they pass it on to someone else who scrapes off the last bits, and then all of those guts end out in our compost area, which we then use for fertilizer and which the deer then eat.
Of course they do.
They love it.
Because that's what
Sure
they
they
do.
do.
Right.
That's interesting. I love that, how you have like an assembly line of
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
efficiency. It's all about efficiency.
When you have 600 pumpkins
Yes.
to carve, it is all about efficiency.
Definitely. That's a lot of pumpkins.
And can you tell us about the barn itself? It looks like folks will be invited indoors in the barn during the Jack-o'-lantern Spectacular.
Yes, so the barn is actually one of the starting points for the event. That's where you go through the admissions table. We'll also have a little raffle going on, but we're going to have the barn decorated to the nines in a prehistoric getup, so you can expect to see some prehistoric backdrops, including volcanoes and large cutout prehistoric plants. You will have a little bit of a fog machine going, so to add a little bit of mist to the air. And this will be kind of just a great start to the event where you can then go along the garden paths. But you can expect all kinds of really cool and engaging decorations.
Awesome. You have some sponsorships for this event that I'm sure you'd like to thank as well. Because
absolutely.
as great as you guys are, you can't do it all by yourselves.
We cannot do it by ourselves. we are very much driven by both our volunteers and our sponsors. So yes, so this year we have the seasonals. I'd like to thank our season sponsors, which include Maine Health, Stevens Hospital, and Norway Savings Bank. And then for the Jack-o'-lantern Spectacular, we're sponsored by the Oxford Federal Credit Union, Norman Hansen and Detroit, Oxford Plaza, Hebron Academy, and Ripley and Fletcher Ford. So we have a whole slew of different sponsors for this event, which we are extremely appreciative of.
Yeah. And it just goes to show how much community support there is. I worked out in Oxford County for like 8 years.
You did?
And it was, and you can just feel it. You can feel like the togetherness there.
Absolutely.
People love to support each other, especially during, holiday events as well.
Yeah, I think one of the strong community is something that is really a draw for me. It is particularly just over the years I've kind of become part of the community myself, and I've just seen how much people take care of each other, both individuals and, businesses. And it's heartening to see and be a part of.
Sure. Yeah. And admission for this event is very reasonable.
Yes. So the admission is $8 for one person, or if you come in a pair, it is $15. And like you said, we try to keep programming low cost and affordable for everyone. So we don't want expensive fees to be a barrier for your family to come and enjoy this wonderful event.
Sounds pretty cool.
Well worth it.
Are you bringing Alex this weekend?
Yeah,
Nice.
The only day I'm going to be able to go, though, is Saturday. So I feel bad it's going to be the last day, but because I'd love to go on Thursday when it starts and kind of help promote. But Thursday we already are.
Oh, that's
obligated.
right. We are.
All this Halloween and
That's right.
seasonal event stuff. Yes. But yeah, so I'll be there Saturday.
Yeah, well, Saturday will be just as great an experience as any of the other days.
I'm excited. I think Alex will totally dig this, especially the whole theme and
Yeah.
yeah.
That's going to be super cool. Yeah, Thursday we're bringing the podcast to Wallingford's Nightmare on the Ridge.
Ooh.
Yeah, so we're all going to be screaming and terrified and all that. And
Alex is also very excited for that.
I love it. I love it. Can't wait. This sounds amazing, Corey. Wishing you the best weather possible.
Fingers crossed.
Yes, fingers crossed. Absolutely. Where can folks go online to learn more about this event?
Yeah, so they can go to www.mclaughlingarden.org to learn more about this event and any events we're doing in the future as well.
Fantastic. Is there anything else that you'd like our listeners to know before we move on to our final segment?
Sure. So one recent development is that we'll actually now have the Luchadora Tacos food truck there. Ooh. They'll have a limited menu, so if you're feeling snacky, they'll be selling churros, cocoa, and coffee. Nice. So you can get your snack on before or after you do your walk.
That's awesome.
Love it.
If you'd like to have your jack-o'-lantern featured in this spectacular event, you can come and carve. So today, Tuesday, and Wednesday from 9:30 to 5, you can come down to the garden and carve pumpkins in the barn.
Very cool. That's awesome. So it's like you could go carve a pumpkin and then go to the event and be like, that's the one I did.
That's half the fun, is going and trying to find the pumpkins that you carved in the displays and see how they've been utilized. Absolutely.
Very cool. Well, I just noticed, too, that the admission includes warm spiced apple juice.
It sure does.
Awesome.
Warm spiced apple juice and popcorn as well,
Can't beat that.
which was donated by Magic Lantern Theater in Bridgeton.
Nice.
Love it.
Very cool.
Great stuff. You love your job, don't you?
I do.
Yes.
It's a very special place to work and a very special community to be a part of.
Yeah. The 12th annual Jack-O-Lantern Spectacular at McLaughlin Garden is happening Thursday through Saturday. And as Corey mentioned, for more info, log on to mclaughlingarden.org.
Next year marks 30 years of Uncle Andy's Digest. What started as a beloved print publication has grown into Lydia Media, a full-service marketing partner helping local businesses thrive. From LA Metro Magazine and the Lydia's Lunch Bunch podcast to social media management, website design, and advertising across all platforms, we've got your marketing needs covered. If you're a business making a difference in our community, let's connect. Lydia Media is here to tell your story and help you grow. Lydia Media, in business, for business. Learn more at lydiamediallc.com.
Corey, as you know, as a loyal listener of the show, we like to close out with a segment called 3 Random Questions, where we're going to ask you questions that have nothing to do with anything we've talked about
Oh
so
boy.
far. we just want to get to know you a little better as a member of our community. Is that cool?
That's cool.
All right.
go.
Let's do this. Corey, what is your favorite way to unwind after a busy day?
I would say I'd like to read a good book after a long day. I'm a big fan of the sci-fi and horror and fantasy kind of side of things.
Yeah.
So yeah, a good book is something that I like to tackle if I'm feeling a little tired after a long day.
All right.
Do you have a favorite?
Well, one I'm reading right now that I really am enjoying is, well, a book that I just finished that I thoroughly enjoyed was called Babel, which is a kind of historical fantasy novel.
All right. If you had to eat one meal for the rest of your life, or let's just, right, we said that's kind of tough, right? So a year straight, one meal, it's all you could have for a full year. What would it be?
I would say a good stir fry.
Ooh, yeah, has a little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything, fairly easy to put together, also delicious.
I like that. That's a good answer. Do you
We
go for like
never had stir fry on the.
Really?
We ask that question quite often.
a lot of answers are pizza,
Yeah.
maybe some pasta.
That was my initial thought, was pizza or a good cheeseburger. But I feel like I could, if I had that every day, it might get the better of me.
Yeah.
All right. And I think earlier, Corey, you mentioned that you were a rock climber.
I am.
You are still.
Yes.
Look at you. Just doing the rock. When did you start that?
Kevin should
In
be-
college.
Okay.
Cool.
So, final question. Tell us about your favorite rock climbing memory.
Oh, my favorite rock climbing memory is maybe also my most traumatic.
Oh,
So I was on a trip out in Arizona for the purpose of rock climbing, and a friend and I spent the entire morning looking for the climb, looking for the mountain that we were going to tackle. And so when we finally found it, it was about 2:00 in the afternoon. And this was pretty late in the day to be starting a several 100-foot climb. But we said, we're in peak physical condition. We can scale this in no time.
talked yourselves into it, didn't you?
Spoiler, we could not. We got about halfway up the climb before the sun started setting.
Oh, no.
And we were not prepared to do a night climb. We were both exhausted, and the end was not in sight. So we had to bail halfway up the climb. We had to rappel off of a mostly alive tree, and then scramble down a boulder field to get to the bottom of the climb, which took maybe an hour, 2 hours in total. I've never had adrenaline like that before. But yeah, so it's one of those things where I can look back on and remember fondly. But in the moment, oof.
Yeah.
Little hairy.
Yeah.
Little hairy.
But somehow, still the story I'd want to tell for my favorite climb.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Going to Arizona.
Big
for rock
learning
climbing.
lesson.
It was a wonderful trip. It was the best of times. It was the worst of times.
Yeah. Have you ever been like free solo climbing?
I rock climb, but I do value my life a little bit.
Thank you.
Yes,
That's
I
what I
do
was gonna
use
say.
ropes. Yes.
Yeah,
you
those
know,
solo climbs.
hats off to Alex Honnold, but I couldn't be me.
I had a hard time watching that. I watched the documentary he made. Where, I think it's titled Free Solo.
It is free solo.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
he's climbing up El Capitan, and I'm like,
Yep.
what?
You
What?
watched it.
Uh,
Why?
Yeah, why? There
It's
were
a big
ropes.
diddle that doesn't work. That's why.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But I do value my own life. So none of that for me.
Nope.
Corey, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thanks for joining us today.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
We so appreciate you. He is Corey Kotfila, horticulturist at McLaughlin Garden in South Paris. Thanks to Ruper's Beverage and Redemption and DeBlois Electric for sponsoring today's episode. And if you would like to be part of the Lydia's Lunch Bunch advertising family, reach out to Pam Ashby via email at pam@lydiamediallc.com.
Have a great day. And remember, don't bite your cat. And I will say I have bitten my cat.